You ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
That's good.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Get ready for the band.
Yeah. We're in dance big time. Pretty sure. There's definitely my hands are really dry.
Casey's coming. You're just gonna play the last song and then. Okay. We need to walk kind of slow, right? Yeah. I don't feel like it's, turtle pace, but just like a slower pace. I think for the book, I think that was better fun.
Breeze blowing through.
Don't play this song yet.
Photographer, and we don't want to interfere at all with her work. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Let's do this thing. Welcome, everyone, to this beautiful celebration. A special welcome to several guests who could not be with us today in person. They're participating via a live broadcast. Chris's grandparents, Bud and Nancy, Rachel's Yaya Diamando, and Rachel's uncle and niece, Bob and Emma. Furthermore, I extend a warm welcome to Yaya and Pooley. This location holds a special place in their heart. 65 years ago, they honeymooned here in Estes Park. We gather here today to witness the marriage of Rachel Catherine Watley and Christopher Allen Henry, and to share in the joy of this occasion. Thank you all for being here to support and celebrate them. I'm Michael Manos, the uncle of the groom. 25 years ago, I married my bride, Debbie. Trish was my ring bearer. I remember that day like it was yesterday. And today, I'm deeply honored to officiate this ceremony. It's been a joy to spend time with Rachel and Chris as we prepared for this special day together. I love you both. Rachel and Chris, the planning is over. We're living in the present. Look behind me. There's not a more spectacular cathedral than this. Look out at those faces. Look at the smiles. Smell the flowers. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. Look around in this room and feel the love. This is goodness, and it doesn't get better than this. Before we proceed, I want to take a moment to reflect on the remarkable journey that Rachel and Chris have taken to get to this day. Rachel and Chris, your love story entangles many of the people in this room. While you two are the starring characters, the supporting cast are all here, the ones that love you. Your love story spans 15 years. It's a testament of the power of family, friendship, patience, unwavering support, and self-discovery. I am honored to be the one to share this story with all of you today. The love story of Rachel and Chris. It all starts with the Watley and Henry family bond. The Watley and Henry families met in 2009 at Rebecca and Nicole's club soccer practice. On the sideline of that practice field, Mark's comments to Julie that Becca has a yaya and Pam is Greek was what opened the door to an enduring friendship that lasted over 15 years. Mark and Pam became Mike and Julie's best friends. Nicole and Rebecca's friendship blossomed, and they became like sisters. Over the years, the family's ties grew, and the kids referred to each other's parents as M2 and D2, mom and dad too. The families did absolutely everything together, and they developed an unbreakable bond and a genuine love for each other. The family's love between the Watley and the Henrys served as a canvas for Rachel and Chris for their love to take shape. One color, one texture, one layer at a time. The first splash of color on that canvas was Chris. See, Chris loved Rachel from the beginning. Rachel and Chris met at the first spaghetti dinner between the Watleys and the Henrys in 2009. Rachel remembered that dinner as nothing special. Chris recalled being instantly attracted to Rachel. Even though she was 8 inches taller than him, he was smitten. But it's on a Park Cities trip, Rachel 15 and Chris 14, where their relationship gets a bit more complicated. On that flight back to Dallas from Park Cities, Chris was typing nonstop on his phone. The next day, Rachel received a long text from Chris detailing how much he loved her and why. Rachel recalls, I was appalled. I texted Rebecca, we cannot hang out with the Henrys family ever again. Rebecca immediately texted Nicole, oh my gosh, we're doomed. The relationship is over. Well, the awkwardness of Chris's Park Cities confession quickly faded. Chris and Rachel remained friends throughout high school, bumping into each other in the hallways. Both seemed content doing their own thing, but it was obvious to all the way Chris lit up whenever Rachel was in the room. Chris wanted to be with Rachel, and whether he recognized it or not, it influenced his decisions. From being a snowboarder to going to OU. As Chris said, he called it love at first sight. Now, the sisters and Rachel's friends reinforced and supported and nurtured the idea that Rachel and Chris were meant to be. And it seemed everybody knew that Rachel and Chris were meant to be, except Rachel. Ever since the Park City confession text, Rebecca and Nicole would tease Rachel and Chris relentlessly about potentially dating and getting married, and later they added that their wedding song would be Panic at the Disco. Rachel would periodically play along, but always defaulted, "Stop it, we're just good friends." But the sisters always believed that Chris and Rachel were meant for each other. When Rachel was a sophomore in high school, she shared with a group of close friends the story about the text that Chris had sent her while they were in middle school professing his love. They all screamed in excitement, telling her they knew Chris loved her. Rachel brushed it off, insisting he was like a brother, and it was ancient history. However, her friends were adamant that they would end up together. As Rachel and her high school friends returned home from their sophomore year of college, they got together to make predictions for each other. Rachel earned herself the superlative of, "Rachel is marrying Chris, and Rachel will have the hairiest children." Despite Rachel's insistence on their platonic relationship, she would always get excited when she saw Chris in the hallways, running up to say hi. Her friends often teased her about Chris having a crush on her, but she ignored their comments. Sarah remembers going to spring break with the Watleys and the Henrys. There was a fight that Chris and Rachel had. Sarah thought to herself, "They even fight like a married couple." Rachel's friends, Rebecca and Nicole, all saw the same thing. There was something special about the way Chris and Rachel acted around each other. And they all thought and hoped there was more to come to the story. But you see, Rachel needed time to let herself fall in love. During the final years of college, Chris and Rachel's paths crossed more frequently. While they didn't hang out one-on-one, they always enjoyed seeing each other on the campus and spending time together. Nicole recalls at this point, "I began to think that Chris's dream of being with Rachel would not come true. I thought he had either grown out of it or given up on the thought." Rachel decides to stay at OU to finish her master's degree. She recalls, "This was a real shift for me. It took my friends graduating, moving away for me to accept what they had been telling me all along about Chris." The first official date was at Blackbird in September of 2018. Chris recalls, "Things changed almost instantly. It was amazing, a dream come true." Rebecca adds, "Then boom. The love story blossomed quickly. Nicole and I came to the realization that we could potentially be sisters." Julie and Mike discovered their blossoming relationship when they saw Chris and Rachel holding hands in the fall of 2018. Julie pulled Nicole aside and asked, "Are they dating? Chris seems to really like Rachel." Nicole replies, "You just realized that? He's loved her since the day they met." In December of 2018, Rachel graduated from OU with her master's. She moved to Breckenridge to be a snowboard instructor. Rachel's separation from Chris during that time further reinforced her desire to be with him. After all these years, she discovered what everybody else seemed to already know. She loved Chris, and they were meant to be. The weekend before Chris's graduation, thanks to Sarah's encouragement, Rachel announced to her parents that she had something to tell them. She nervously blurts out, "Chris and I are dating." Pam and Mark simply respond, "We love Christopher." May 10th was the day Chris graduated from college. Chris recalls, "The night before I graduated, Rachel and I were driving home from dinner. Before we go into my house, Rachel said, you may ask me to be your girlfriend now."
I was ready.
And Chris looks into her eyes and says, "Oh, I always thought you were." Since then, they've been inseparable. After college, Chris and Rachel continued to date in Dallas and eventually moved across country into a home together in Denver. 13 years after their first ski trip to Park Cities, Chris, now an expert snowboarder, proposed to Rachel on the very mountain they skied together as kids. I think Rachel and Chris sum it up in their own words best. Rachel reflects, "Rebecca and Nicole had it figured out. They called us into her middle school and high school. Chris will say he knew it from the beginning. My friends seem to all know. It took me a little longer to realize the wonderful human I had right in front of me all these years. I absolutely love living with my best friend and the love of my life. And Chris, in his characteristic brevity, I love you, Rachel, to death do us part. Rachel and Chris, your journey of love has led you to this significant moment. I have shared your story. To start this next chapter of your life together, would you please share your personal vows with each other?
Rachel, 5 years ago, I had the unexpected joy of falling in love with my best friend. Your adventurous spirit, caring soul, and sense of purpose are just a few qualities that fill me with constant excitement and happiness. And today, surrounded by all of our loved ones here, I'm overwhelmed with gratitude and joy as we become one. I want to thank you for challenging me to become a better and healthier person each and every day. I also want to thank you for putting up with my occasional nonsense. Now, I do have a few promises of my own. I promise to always clean your sunglasses. I promise to always peel your oranges. I promise to give you a sweet before bed every night.
Every night.
Above all, I promise to love you fiercely and endlessly. I cannot wait to make memories with you forever. Here's to our life full of laughter. I'll love you forever.
Okay. Christopher, I'd like to start off by thanking you for your patience. Since we met in middle school through our little sisters, I've loved every moment I've spent hanging out with you. You've always been my best friend. It just took me a little longer to realize that somewhere along the way I had fallen in love with my best friend. You are the person I want by my side to set me straight when I take my plans a little bit too far, yet still the person cheering on all of our adventures. I admire the way that no matter the circumstance, you always see the good in people and lead your life with infectious positivity. I pray our future kids that get that quality from you. You've always been a constant joy in my life and my safe space. I promise to be the same for you. And probably my favorite thing of all is our laughs. You are absolutely hysterical. I look forward to more silliness and laughter with you for the rest of my life. And yet, after all of this, I still think what you will be most pleased to hear is that I promise to never embarrass you by ordering boneless chicken wings. You make me the happiest girl in the world. I love you, Christopher.
Now Rachel and Chris will exchange rings, symbolizing their love and commitment to one another. As they place the rings on each other's fingers, let's witness not only the physical exchange, but also the deepening of their lifelong bond as they promise to uphold their vows through all the days of their life. They will affirm their commitment to each other with the timeless words, I do. May I have the ring? Chris, please repeat after me as you place this ring on Rachel's fingers. With this ring,
I
ask you to be my wife,
ask you to be my wife,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better or worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer or for poorer,
for rich or for poor,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish,
to love and to cherish,
for all the days of my life.
for all the days of my life.
Rachel, do you take Chris to be your husband? Do you promise to uphold your vows, to love, honor, and cherish and respect him in sickness and in health, for richer and for poorer, for better or for worse, forsaking all others as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Now, Rachel, please repeat after me as you place this ring on Chris's finger. With this ring, I ask you to be my husband.
With this ring, I ask you to be my husband.
I ask you to be to have and to hold from this day forward,
To have and to hold from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better or for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for rich or for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
in sickness and in health,
to love and to cherish
to love and to cherish
for all the days of my life.
for all the days of my life.
Now, Chris, do you take Rachel to be your wife? Do you promise to uphold your vows, to love and honor and cherish and respect her in sickness and in health, for richer and poorer, for better or worse, forsaking all others as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Rachel and Chris will now partake in a Stephana or wedding crown ceremony. These Stephanas or wedding crowns hold deep significance in the Greek Orthodox faith, symbolizing Rachel and Chris's spiritual commitment and sacred bond to each other. As they exchange these crowns, they embrace the roles of king and queen of their family. The crowns carry immense symbolism, representing the pledge to lead, protect, and nurture their families with unwavering faith, love, and wisdom. As they are crowned, let us bow our heads and lift up our hearts and offer a blessing upon Rachel and Chris. May the crowns placed upon your heads today serve as a symbol of divine love and protection that surrounds you both. May your union be blessed with happiness, strength, and joy. May you find comfort in each other's arms, courage in each other's hearts, and wisdom in each other's counsel all the days of your life. Amen. And now, as we conclude this beautiful ceremony, let us take a moment to bask in the love and joy that fills this space. Rachel and Chris, as you stand before us today, surrounded by your loved ones, know that you're embarking on a journey filled with endless possibilities and boundless love. May the vows you've exchanged and the promises you've made today serve as a foundation for a lifetime of happiness, growth, and unwavering support. As you walk hand in hand into the future, may you always remember to cherish each other, uplift one another, be patient and kind with each other, and love each other unconditionally, every minute, every hour of every day. To all our guests, thank you for joining us in celebrating this marriage. Your presence here today is a testament to the love and support that Rachel and Chris are blessed to have in their lives. And now, by the power vested in me, I am honored to pronounce you husband and wife. Chris, you may kiss your bride. Please stand.
I want to put my veil back in.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Christopher and Rachel Henry. Congratulations.
Come along because I love your face and I'll admire
other guests are welcome to the bar. I think there's one downstairs, and get started. Thank you.